All right, here I'm going here with a spoiler-filled review of Chrono Trigger: Crimson Echoes, a fan-made game by Chrono Trigger, and a game by fans of Chrono Trigger who wanted to have a sequel. And right up front, they say there's no. Right up front, they say there is no. They're not affiliated with Square Enix, and that's a great thing to say. And I'm glad they said it because later they got a cease and desist order from Square Enix, which is a bullcrap, because it's a property they haven't touched in years, and yet they don't want anyone doing anything with it other than them. Even though, of course, yes, again, I say it's a gray area. There was, it's their properties and music, their characters, their music, their characters, their music, things like that, battle systems, whatever. But they haven't used stuff like that in years, so it's like, why not let them? It's a fan game. They're your fans. They like your game. I know. There you go. Okay, so spoiler filled. All right. Basically, there's so many different things go on. So many different things happen. Uh, and I'm just like, yeah, basically, maybe that won't be that long, but still, there are certain parts that get spoiler filled. Okay, spoiler warning. Certain parts that are definitely characters, people act out of character. Frog does not really talk with his medieval style, in that medieval style he normally talks in. Chrono can talk in this one, and there's a part where basically Marl. Well, basically, some bad stuff happened. So yeah, there was like, uh, basically, someone decided, like one of the gurus, Balthazar, I think, decided to revive the King of Zeal or something like that, which sounds like an interesting, good idea. Doesn't sound so bad, I guess. But the problem was that he was influenced by this thing called the Frozen Flame, which so happens to be part of Lavos, and so basically it carries Lavos' spirit in it, and is able to influence him and corrupt him to make him do horrible things throughout time and space, like Lavos used to. So yeah, just so many crazy things happen. And one crazy thing that happens is everybody separated. Well, just about everybody separated. Marl gets sent back to like 1 AD and is captured by reptites who somehow now will exist again. Captured by reptites, and then it's like in the future, I believe, or the present day. Yeah, I think it's present day. Present day. Chrono, Frog, and the Magus are hanging out in the present day with the reptites as the dominant species. And what happens is these reptites apparently have, I don't know, kept a museum kind of thing going on. And it's like, okay, cool. I'm like, okay, this is nice to have like a sort of a museum, talk about your history, acknowledge that humans existed, so they're burying it, and they do this, and then you see one prison cell, you see a skeleton in there with Marl's necklace on it, and I'm like, oh shit. And yeah, this is 5 years after Chrono Trigger. Chrono and Marl are married, so it's just like, yeah, Chrono is Prince Chrono now. It's just crazy stuff. And later, he becomes King Chrono. He and Marl become Queen and King and Queen. It's crazy stuff. But it's like, yeah, you see that, and I'm like, oh shoot, He's like, oh yes, that was one of the last human females, that survived the purge. There survived our war with the humans. And here she is. Here's what's left of her. I think these people who are basically these reptile people who are basically they're just basically, I don't know about curators or anything, but they're just workers. They had nothing to do with that stuff at all. But we're gonna just like instantly, basically, you see. It's basically one of those samurai type of things where all of a sudden you see him whip his sword out and then disappear and end up behind like these guys and then they fall over. So it's like yeah, he's done talking. He's not happy. He's not. I'm like, oof. No, basically that's what happens. Yeah, he murdered Corano, totally murdered jerks. We saw Marl's skeleton, and I'm like, okay, that's a bit out of character. Though he would be ticked off. Would he actually do that? Especially with Frog standing right there. Like, for when Frog tried to stop him, you know, and wouldn't Magus of course could probably go to on. We say, oh, whatever. Some things deserved, you know, whatever. Magus would probably be okay with that because, of course, he's basically was a villain, so yeah, he's working on it. And so yeah, this was definitely a rough scene there, and just some other scenes that were a little off and weird and stuff. And eventually, the kingdom gets overthrown. Chrono and Queen Lane, or Queen Marl, or basically they were able to go through time and fix that. So Marl's alive again. They would go back in time, save Marl, fix everything, and it's all cool. Some reptiles actually did survive because they got to the point where they were able to learn time travel and actually learn to get along with everybody else. And, so that was cool. That was really cool. I'm like, why did the reptiles have to die out? I was not a fan of that. Why can't they go someplace where they can hang out away from the humans? And some things were helped out with that. And basically, time travelers were able to help the reptiles stop trying to attack humans, start getting along with them, and stuff like that back in prehistoric times. It was great. It was great to see that. But then what? There was other, so basically, and then of course, Chrono and Marl are basically the kingdom is nullified because these jerks from a place called Poor, most likely stirred up by the King of Zeal. Basically, we're able to overthrow the place, take over and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's just like, what, just like that, and it's like, well, let's go. They're like, hey, wait, we can go on adventures. We can go through time and space again. We can figure this out. And we're like, all right. So they lost the kingdom. What? Now they're going to go and try to do other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's the ending. Unfortunately, the Let's Play I'm going to post a link down in the description of does not have the ending. But I found another video, another person who has that ending. I'll post that link as well. And man, that's just rough. It's like, what? Your dad's gone, Marl, and your queen. There's these bad guys that are saying basically took over. It's just dang, it's rough stuff. So that's the ending. That's part of the ending. Things are better for a lot of people, but this part here, Chrono's land, Chrono's time, Chrono's place, and friends' places is just torn up, by these losers, and now they're in charge. And I'm like, And so I'm like, yeah, maybe if they had more time to finish the game, they could fix that out. It'd be nice to see that. I'll have to find out what's going on there, but yeah, it's just crazy stuff. Some of the stuff was really good. Some of the stuff was really, it's interesting to see. There's a lot of cool stuff that was there and could have been in there, but was not allowed to be in there, because they had to stop production on the game. But still, yeah, this game is an amazing game. I really liked it. I really liked it a lot. Especially for a fan-made game. This had some pretty good stuff going on there. Definitely some stuff that was a little out of character, but I was okay with that. I could live with that because it was a fun, interesting game. It was great. It was a great thing to see. I haven't seen a nice Let's Play like that in a long time, so it was really cool. So yeah, you check out Chrono Trigger, Crimson Echoes. I'm gonna go check out some other stuff. Basically, there's a Chrono Trigger remake. I gotta see what that's about. There's all kinds of other stuff going on there, and we'll see. Also, Chrono Trigger Crimson Echoes was also trying to, basically, bridge the gap between Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, and they kind of did in some ways, as far as I can tell. Talk about the different battle systems and magical systems going on that basically are involved in Chrono Cross. There's certain things that they talk about in that in Chrono Trigger that are from Chrono Cross in there. So it's kind of cool to see that. But yeah, and that helps out because I was like, what is why is the thing called Chrono Cross? What's the thing about it? What does that mean? So this kind of helped explain a few things. So I look forward to seeing that. I'll see you guys later. Well, I might check out Chrono Cross sometime. So I'll see you guys later. Check me out on YouTube and DeviantArt. I gotta go and make comics because I'm gonna make comics. There's stuff I want to talk about in this game from this game. I want to make comics on. So I'll do that. So I'll see you guys next time.